Hey guys, Miss Gregory. Advanced Lesson 1.1 in your textbook, pages 9 to 12, we are talking about unit rates. You need to remember, you need your book. It is a time for notes. That means you need paper and pencil, and you need to actually write down the notes when prompted instead of choosing not to, like I've seen on some of your homework lately. All right, we are on page 10. Important things that you need to notice are pointed out here. Definition of a unit rate and a rate. Now, this is actually review from earlier in the year in the 6th grade book, which I also think was labeled Chapter 1, on ratios, rates, and unit rates. You need to remember that a unit rate in some ways is similar to a fraction because it can be written like a fraction with a numerator and a denominator. But it is different from a fraction because a rate is comparing with two different units. And the units are what's important and set it apart from a fraction. So even though you have a numerator and a denominator, those numbers have to be paired with the units. So in the example given, we're talking about 160 beats per 2 minutes. That's a rate. Once you simplify it and you have a denominator of 1, then it becomes a unit rate. You are getting it down to the most basic per unit, in this case per minute. So once you've simplified the rate and it's a unit rate, you are at 80 beats per minute. Okay? Basically, unit rates are showing a denominator of 1 and making sure it has been simplified. Okay? You are to write down both of these definitions and examples in your notes. And notice it does say you must have the units with the ratios. You cannot just put numbers. Okay, moving forward, we're looking here. Example 1. You should write this example down in your notes, and just a reminder, the fraction bar is telling you to divide. Adrian biked 24 miles in 4 hours. If she biked at a constant speed, how many miles did she ride in 1 hour? So that 1 hour is telling you to make this a unit rate per unit, 1 hour. So again, look how it's written as a fraction, 24 miles over 4 hours. Now you need to simplify that. Ask yourself, 4 divided by what would give me the denominator of 1? And obviously you would need to say 4 divided by 4. What you do to the top, you have to do to the bottom and vice versa. So 24 divided by 4 would be biking 6 miles per hour. And you can see how that could be written as a fraction, which is what they're wanting you to try to learn now. And it could also be written out in words. Now, here's the part where you need to do the got it. And before you pause, I want you to listen to how it should be set up. It's asking you to find the unit rate and round to the nearest hundredth if necessary. So for part A, you should write the problem $300 for 6 hours. You should write it as a fraction, and then you're going to show me how to simplify it down to a unit rate, and that unit rate should also be written as a fraction. All right, now you can pause your video and then come back to check your answers. All right, and we came back. Check your got it. For A, $300 for 6 hours. Divide by 6, and that simplifies to a unit rate of $50 per hour. 220 miles on 8 gallons. Divide by 8, and again, you may need to show your work for this one. It doesn't necessarily divide evenly, like some easy, quick multiplication facts, so I showed that there. And of course, you would show the work. But that does work out to 27.5 miles per gallon, 27.5 when you are dividing this out. Okay, so just to review, you should have your notebook paper set up with lesson 1.1, page 10, unit rates, today's date. You were supposed to have the definition for rate, the definition for unit rate. You were supposed to write example 1, and you were supposed to do the got it's A and B and provide the answer, which we just checked on the last page. Making sure you're keeping up with the notes is important. Okay, moving on. Example 2 is talking about really finding the better buy. I'm sorry, not the better buy, that's example 3, but finding the unit cost or the unit price, which still is basically a unit rate, but it's dealing with a price. You're trying to get down to how much, in this example, does one juice box cost. And I told you guys to think about this like the PDQ, because you guys could relate to the restaurant PDQ. And it's price divided by quantity, meaning there are 8 juice boxes in the pack. So the quantity is 8, and you are dividing 8 by the $2 that it costs for the 8 juice boxes. Okay. For PDQ, price divided by quantity, one way to remember that this is set up properly with the correct divisor and the correct dividend is the price always goes underneath your little division house. Okay. It's not going to be the number you are dividing by. You can see with example 2, after the division is done, that the unit price is 25 cents per juice box. You need to make sure that with money, you're talking about dollars and cents, and the cents would be 2 decimal places. Okay, so when you are working the got it on your own, part C, you need to find the unit price of a 4-pack of mixed fruit that sells for $2.12. So again, set it up correctly, price divided by quantity, and show me the unit price correctly with dollars and cents. Pause the video now, then come back and check your answer. And here again, reminding you what you should have in your notes. We're on page 11. You should have copied example 2. And I actually went ahead and showed you the division work, since that wasn't shown in the book, to see how they got 25 cents per juice box for 8 juice boxes that cost $2. Okay, you would work through your division, and here's your reminder that with money, you need 2 decimal places to represent the cents. Okay, then you are working your own got it, number C, and I'm reminding you, you should be showing your division work. So here we go, the answer for the got it. You are going to set this up with the got it. The unit price is a 4-pack, and the price is always going to go underneath. Okay, and you can see the work here for getting the final answer for the unit price for the got it C. 4-pack into $2.12 works out nicely. 53 cents per pack would be the unit price. Okay, moving forward. This is example 3 on page 11, and this is where you are comparing more than one unit price, and you're trying to find which one is the better buy. So in example 3, you've got the prices of 3 different bags of dog food, in the table there. They tell you the size of the bag in pounds, and they tell you the price in dollars. So you should be able to take what you know about the PDQ from the previous page, price divided by quantity, and over to the left here in red, I've shown you how you would set up your division for each one of those problems. They did give you the final answer of how much it costs per pound for the 40-pound, the 20-pound, and for the 8-pound bag. Underlined in red is the final unit price, so that you can tell that the 20-pound bag is the cheaper cost of the 3 choices. Okay. Now, it's also important to note off here to the right where it says alternative method that you could compare the 20-pound bag of dog food and the 40-pound bag of dog food, because 20 is basically half of 40, or you could double 20 and get 40. So it would be easy to compare those two, but still a little harder to compare the 8-pound bag. So you always can go with the method of price divided by quantity. It may require a little more work, but you can do it. All right, so now you need to do the got it, D. You are again comparing prices. You have your table over here, peanut butter sales. You have 4 different brands of peanut butter, and you have the sale price, which includes how many ounces are in each jar. All right, you are trying to figure out, Tito wants to buy as much peanut butter as possible. Which brand should he buy? So he's wanting to go with the best buy, which is the cheaper price. So you're going to have to work through the division on these problems on your notebook paper and then be able to tell me which one is the best. Do the problem, pause the video, come back and check your work. Alright, the got it you can check. The best deal was Grandma's, and I am showing you the work for hers. Is 18 ounces into $2.79. You work that out and you've got 0.155. We talked about money and how to write that, so we would need to round to the nearest 100th place because we're rounding to the nearest cent. So we would round this up and we would say it costs about 16 cents per ounce of peanut butter. Now, I didn't show you the work for the other 3, but if you are having trouble with it, we will definitely go over it in class tomorrow when you return, and we can look at the D got it. But I want to move on and keep the video short. So let's move to the last page, which is you getting ready to do the guided practice on your notebook paper. You need to title this at the top of your notebook paper, either the top on the back of what you've been writing or on the top of a new piece of notebook paper from your notebook. You are doing questions 1, 2, and 3. You are showing your work. You are writing the unit rates as fractions, but make sure you include the units with the numbers. After you've done all 3, please rate yourself where you think you are in your understanding. And in case you need to refer to the guided practice in the book, we are on page 12 in Chapter 1, Lesson 1. Okay? Good luck, and see you tomorrow in class. The end.